Shabbat Shalom, everybody. All right, so, there's many stories, many lessons we can learn from this week's parsha. On Vayetzeh, but I'm going to talk about just one little specific thing. So, if we go back and we look about the birth, the sons of Leah, we see that her fourth son comes along, right? And her fourth son she names it Yehudah, because she says, "This time I will gratefully praise Hashem." So she named him Yehudah, which literally means "I will give thanks." If you break up the different children and wives evenly, right? If each wife would have had three sons, then it would have been equal 3 for each wife, right? But when Leah had her fourth son, then it was like she was above all the rest of the wives at that point, right? She had blessed her husband more than her share, I guess, if you would divide them equally, right? So if you think about it, so Yehudah is where we get our name of Jews. That's where it comes from. Our very identity, Yehudim, which is Jews, is fundamentally about being thankful, right? And if you kind of look at like the state of, I guess, just the nations and things, we see, there's some other countries that are thankful, like the U.S. has things about them that are thankful. They even have a celebration, a yearly celebration about being thankful. But Jews are in our name. We are thankful, right? And if you also think about it, we have the Israelis. They're not called Israelites anymore, but they're called Israelis. But that word means more struggling with Hashem, right? So Israelis are still struggling with Hashem, where us Jews, Yehudim, are being thankful to Hashem always, right? We thank Hashem for all the blessings that He gives to us, right? So that's interesting, right? Now, there's a little tie-in that we can tie in from some of the things that Yeshua has said. And so He said here in the Gospel of Luke, in chapter 17, verses 11 through 19, He says, He's telling the story about the lepers, right? The 10 lepers that were cleansed, right? And what happened with the 10 lepers? What happened? There's only one that came back, right? There was only one leper that came back to give thanks, right? And if you kind of connect that with us as well, we're very minority people. We're the minority. We're a tiny little country, and yet we are the ones that are supposed to be giving thanks, right? So that's us, right? We're the one leper that's come back, the one that makes teshuvah, and the one that is thankful. And this can just go beyond just, we want to thank Hashem, but we also want to be thankful just in general, thankful for all the things that Hashem does for us, and thankful to other people too. We have to be like examples, right? We have to be examples of thanks, right? Rabbi Dessler, a great Musar teacher, he said this. Here's a quote for him. He says, "The true service of God is built on a foundation of gratitude." So not only do we serve Hashem, but we serve Him with gratitude. We have to be grateful for what He's done. And so then you step back and you say, what is it to be grateful? What does it mean to be? How can you show your gratitude more than anything else? And, especially in a home, right? In a home, I'm going to look at you because there's mostly kids here. In a home, how can you show me that you're grateful to me? By providing you, or grateful to my wife, by providing you a place to live, and put in food and fun things that we do for you, and all these things. How can you show us that you're grateful to us? Does anybody have an answer? Okay, you serve us. You serve us. Yeah, that's very, very grateful, showing that you're very grateful. Anything else? Anybody else? Yeah. Yeah, that's part. Yeah, help outside. That's also being surfacing. All right. Well, listening. Okay. You're going on the right track. Listening. What does it actually mean to listen, Rafi? Being obedient. There you go. That's what I was going for. And having a pleasant attitude when you do it as well. But even if you don't, it'll probably help a lot. But even if you don't, being obedient is probably the major thing, right? I mean, it says here in Devarim 11, verse 1, it says, "Therefore you shall love the Lord your God and keep his charge, his statutes, his judgments, and his commandments always." So by doing these things, right, by obeying Hashem, by obeying all his commandments and things that he's given us to do, we are showing that we love him, right? And so by being grateful Jews, by thankful Jews, we are being obedient to him. We are obedient to him to show him that we are grateful and thankful to him. Not just saying it, because you can say it, but it might not mean as much as if you do it, right? Doing is always more than saying it. And I always like to think of that one parable that also Yeshua says about the two sons. The one that tells his father he's going to do it. Yes, Father, I'm going to do these things for you. And then he never does them that day. And he goes to the other son and he says, "I want you to do such and such." And he's like, "Nah, I don't want to do it." And then later on he does it. And then, who was the better son? It was the one who did it, even though he said he didn't want to do it, So, the same way, right? So we need to be thankful. So the challenge, it's not just this week, because I usually give you a weekly challenge. I'm giving you a challenge to start a tradition. I want you to start a tradition in your homes, a tradition wherever you are. Every Shabbat evening, at least. You could do it other times. No, there's no limit, right? But at least every Shabbat evening, I want you to, start this tradition where you go around the table and say thanks. Say something you're thankful for that week. You could do three things you're thankful for, or even just one thing, just something, right? Say one thing at least that you're thankful for that week. We used to do it more regularly. We kind of took a break from it, but we're going to start it again. This is our tradition, right? We need to start it again. So every Shabbat evening meal, you're sitting around with your loved ones, say something thankful. Say something you're thankful for Hashem providing for you, or there's something that happened to you during that week. Okay, all right. And so that's pretty much my Josh is to remember who we are, that we are Jews and we need to be thankful. And by being thankful, we need to be obedient, right? And so by showing our obedience, by being obedient, we're showing our thankfulness, and we're being like that one leper that came back and said thanks. So so that's my message. If this parsha landed up with Thanksgiving, it would have been really, really good. But it's still good because Thanksgiving wasn't too long ago, right? So, anyways, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.